Hello and welcome back to Nonsense Farm. Today it's time for another episode of Sourdough Shenanigans. Today we're going to make sourdough Pop-Tarts. The recipe is from Little Spoon Farm and here's how it goes. So basically it's a pie crust sort of thing that is the outside and you use jam for the inside. So it takes 125 grams all-purpose flour, 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter, half a teaspoon of fine sea salt, 30 grams of granulated sugar, 125 grams of sourdough discard, 5 grams of white vinegar. So it says, in a medium-sized mixing bowl, whisk the flour, sugar, and salt, which I already have in here. Put the cold butter, using a cheese grater, into the flour mixture. Now, something I need to tell you is that normally when I do these sourdough shenanigans, I have never made that recipe before. I did make this one last week and I didn't film it. So anyway, today I'm going to change up a few things based on my experience last week. This is not one of the things that I'm changing based on my experience. I'm changing it because what I had was room temperature butter. So anyway, I'm going to put this into the flour and cut it in just normal. Last time I did grate frozen butter in there, and so anyway, we'll see how big a difference that makes. Add the sourdough starter, discard, and vinegar to the mixture and use a fork to bring the dough together. Use your hands to bring the mixture into a cohesive ball and press into a rectangular shape. Add a teaspoon of cold water if the mixture is too dry. Wrap the dough in plastic wrap and use a rolling pin to flatten the dough and smooth the edges. Let the dough chill in the fridge for at least 1 hour and up to 24 hours. So I'm going to mix this together, put it in the fridge. I have a whole day of things to do out at the farm, and we'll come back together tonight and make the Pop-Tarts. We have our flour, salt, and sugar, and we have our butter. I will say, cutting the butter into the flour is a lot easier when it's soft versus when it was frozen. We're down to crumbles. So now it says add the sourdough starter, discard, and the vinegar to the mixture and use a fork to bring the dough together. So, here we go. Handy dandy kitchen scale. Yeah, I'll leave the fork in there. All right, sourdough discard. That's probably an Amazon delivery, I would suspect. And then the vinegar. All right, let's bring it together. All right, this will not take any additional water to pull it together whatsoever. All right, use your hands to bring the mixture into a cohesive ball and press into a rectangular shape. Got it. Wrap the dough in plastic wrap and use a rolling pin to flatten the dough and smooth the edges. Let the dough chill in the fridge for at least 1 hour and up to 24. You know, this is actually pretty sticky, so I'm actually going to get some more flour to put on here. Stand by. It's incredibly humid outside, and I wonder if that's why the dough is stickier than it was the other day. And the other thing is the butter was melted, or was room temperature this time. So it could be a lot of things. Perfect. This is just great. Here's our dough. Now we're gonna let it chill. I am back from the farm. I got irrigation on every tree in the orchard, and I am exhausted. I need to finish these Pop-Tarts because I am leaving for California in the morning for an entire week. So I need to get them done, so we will carry on. First order of business, we need to get them rolled out. I did let this get a little thawed from the refrigerator because there's so much butter in it that the butter is hard when it's cool. So I did let this come to room temperature just a bit. And now we are rolling it out. One thing I discovered last time is that it's really important to have even edges on this, and so I think what I'm going to do this time is the uneven, ragged edges around the side. I'm going to cut them with a pizza cutter to make it like a perfect rectangle, and then I'll combine and re-roll the edges that I take off. It says to roll it out about 1/8 of an inch. So that's what I am doing. The other thing that I discovered last time that I'm going to do different this time is that it says that this recipe makes 4 Pop-Tarts, and that made awfully big Pop-Tarts to me. So I think this time I'm going to make more smaller Pop-Tarts. And while we're talking about things I'm going to do different this time, I'm also going to do a better job at when I put the jam, the filling, I'm going to spread it out more evenly, because what I got was like a hump in the middle a little bit, and I didn't like that. All right, so now let's see, I'm going to make this into a rectangle. You are probably better at rolling things out than me, and so you probably will roll it perfectly and won't have to do that. But this is Nonsense Farm. This is how we do it. All right, and again, I'm going to make them smaller, so I'm gonna even make this part. Man, I managed to roll it onto some places that didn't have enough flour. Be sure to use enough flour. You do not want it to stick. Re-roll this a little bit. Okay, perfect. Two, three, four. I'm going to make 5 even just out of this. This is our Nonsense Farm blackberry jam. It's on our website. If you want some, we grew these blackberries ourselves and made the jam ourselves, and now we're making Pop-Tarts out of them. So it takes very little, and I'm going to spread it out. Now I'm going to, oh, you know what? We're supposed to put egg wash around the edges first. Hold on just a second. Egg. Must beat it. We're going to paint some egg just around the edge so that it seals properly. Now I will fold it over and seal the edges with a fork all the way around. And put it on a parchment lined cookie sheet. If it's not perfect, it's fine. I'm going to roll out these scraps, get them ready for the oven, and then we will put them in. They are in the oven, 350 degrees. The recipe says 25 to 30 minutes. I'm going to keep a closer eye on these because they are half the size of what's called for in the recipe. So stay tuned. Let's check in. All right, I think that's pretty done. Those look like nice little snacks, right? I'm gonna let them cool, and then I will put the glaze on them. And now they're cool. So there's a specific recipe for the glaze in the recipe, on the printed recipe, but I just took some powdered sugar, I added vanilla to mine. I don't think that's called for in the recipe itself. And then just a little bit of water. And now we're going to glaze these Pop-Tarts. And now we'll try some. Very good. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you aren't already. Hit the bell so you'll be notified of new videos. Check out my shop, nonsensefarm.com/shop, and be sure to join us at 7 p.m. Texas time on Thursdays for our YouTube Lives. Until next time, bye.